Hey guys, so this video is going to be my labor and delivery story of Miss Phoebe Jane, who is 2 weeks old now. And I want to get this video up before I forget anything, I guess. Just want to talk about what happened when I had her to, I don't know, tell everyone, and then I really like having these videos to look back on. I have Cassidy's labor and delivery story, and I like to watch it and remember and compare and all that. So I will start with, well, the day I went into labor with her was May 19th, which was my, the due date that they gave me based on the ultrasound. You know how they give you two due dates, like the one's based on your cycles and that, and then one, when they do the ultrasound, like based on the measurements, they tell you a size. May 19th was the due date they gave me based on how big she was and everything. So that day, I felt great all day long, which was different because all the days up to that, I felt horrible, like sore, tired, everything hurt. I was just miserable. And that day, I felt great. I had energy. I was cleaning the house. I was in the kitchen doing the dishes. And I was joking, telling Jeremy that, you know, wondering if this was like the burst of energy before labor. As a joke, and I guess it was, because about 9 o'clock that night, I was laying in Cassidy's bed reading to her, and my water broke, kind of on her bed, and then I jumped up and ran into her bathroom, and it was everywhere. I was soaked. My water broke with Cassie, but it was just like a little pop, and then like a little bit, but this was like a flood, I'll say. So there was like no doubt that my water had broke, that I had gone into labor. Yeah. So, and it kind of really scared me. Like, I know that's can happen. That's a sign of labor. It happens all the time, whatever. But just because it happened so suddenly and so much, it like freaked me out. Like, I was like shaking while I was standing there. So I called my doctor, and she said because I wasn't really having contractions yet, I didn't have to like rush to the hospital, even though the hospital was a good hour drive from where we are. So we did a few things. We had to figure out some last minute like childcare issues we had and stuff. So it ended up being a good hour before we left the house to head to the hospital. So we didn't get there until, I think it was a little after 11 at night. So they checked me when I got there. And I think they said 3 to 4 centimeters, 70% effaced, and a -1 station, I think was what they said. And, but also they wanted to do an ultrasound, which I've never had an ultrasound while I was in labor before. And a friend of mine said that she never did or heard of that either. But, it was a good thing that they did, because they did the ultrasound as I'm in labor, as I'm having contractions. The contractions started on the drive there, and they were very painful. And anyway, they did the ultrasound, and they go to me, "Oh, this baby is breech." And I was like shocked, because Oliver was breech. And this whole pregnancy, I kept like asking my doctor when she was supposed to be head down. If she was head down, they kept telling me she was in the right position. Because I remember telling Jeremy after every appointment, like, she's in the correct position, we're good to go. And then we got there, and they did the ultrasound and found out her head was literally like right under my ribs here, which I honestly thought was her butt, the way they told me she was head down, and I could feel something there, so I thought it was the other end of her, but that was her head was there the whole time. So I don't know if she like flipped at some point. I feel like I would have felt her turning. I don't know. But either way, by the time we got there, I'm in labor, contractions are coming, and now they tell me they have to do a C-section. They can't turn her. They don't even try at that point because it's so late and whatever. So then they started prepping me for a C-section, which I was not happy about. I didn't want to do. Cassidy was a VBAC. She was supposed to be a VBAC. I didn't want to have surgery. But that's what we were going to do. So the only plus side of that was that I was going to have medicine as soon as we were ready to go, and that's what I was waiting for, because the contractions hurt so bad. I just wanted to get into the OR just to get medicine going so I could like feel better and calm down and kind of process everything that was going on. So it took a while, though. I remember laboring for a little bit before they actually got me in there, which, I mean, now that I think about it, I don't think it was really too long. It just felt really long, I guess. So they took me first. They told Jeremy it was going to be a little while, not to freak out or whatever. But it was a while, and he was freaking out because it was taking so long. So they got me prepped and everything. They finally brought him in, all suited up. You know, he had been, like, the hairnet and outfit and all that. I got the medicine. I was laying on the table. And they were starting. Took a while. It wasn't the delivery that we wanted, but it was what it was. Finally, they took her out, and they were commenting about how blue her eyes were and everything, and that was the other part I forgot. When my water broke, they asked me if the fluid was clear, and it was to me. It looked like water, literally. When I got there, they told me that there was some meconium in the fluid, so that the NICU team had to be present when she was delivered. So I was like, okay. It was like one thing after another. They kept telling me something else. I felt like was going wrong. Turns out it was good the NICU team was there anyway, because when she came out, they said she was blue and needed some help, getting going. And they said some babies do need help right in the beginning, just getting their breathing like started and going and stuff. So they brought her to like this other little room, like connected to the operating room, and I guess they bagged her to help her breathe. I found out later, the pediatrician told us that her original ABGAR score was a 2, which is terrible. And then after like 2 minutes, it was an 8, which is good. So she did have a little trouble getting going, and I was thankful later on when I did find that out that I didn't find it out at the time, because I was already so freaked out. They had her in the other room. They didn't tell us what was going on. And, it felt like an eternity. Poor Jeremy was white as a ghost from, hearing I had to have surgery, and then worrying about, we didn't even know if she was okay or not. Finally, they let him come back and see her, and he took pictures and came back and showed me and said she was doing good in that. And eventually they all, wrapped her up and let him hold her while he sat next to me. But I still needed to be stitched up in that, and they told me that I had a lot of bleeding, so it took even longer. And I said it was like one hit after another, but all in all, she was fine. I was fine. Eventually, everybody was good. We still wondered, though, why she was breech and nobody knew about it. And I found out later, too, which everyone tells me to stay off the internet, stay off Google, because I just freak myself out, but I guess if your baby is breech and your water breaks, it can be really dangerous because the cord can come out first before the baby and like cut off their, supply of blood and air and whatever. So that scared me. So I was half joking, but I think half kind of true that I had like PTSD from this traumatic delivery of her. And it was funny because in the hospital, like after she was born, every time I would fall asleep, I would like jump awake. Like I would be startled. And I had like so much anxiety just because of everything that had happened so fast, and like just trying to process it all. But it turned out all right. I mean, even talking about it now kind of freaks me out. Like all these like what ifs, what, could have happened, which I try not to focus on because she's here and she's fine and I'm fine and everybody's good. So she was born at 1:40 in the morning, and she was 20 inches long, and she weighed 8 pounds, 8.2 ounces. I heard that in the beginning they were saying she was a big baby, and they were kind of wondering why, like if I had gestational diabetes or anything. And I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, she wasn't that huge, and I didn't have diabetes. Cassidy was born at 7 pounds, 10 ounces, and she was 2 weeks early. So if she had gone another 2 weeks to term, she probably would have been just as big. I don't know. It didn't seem that huge to me that it was a worry, which I guess eventually it wasn't. And the other thing I was surprised about, when Jeremy went to see her and came back and like told me what she was looking like and stuff, he said she has hair, and I was shocked because all my babies were born like bald. Oliver had a little bit of hair, but this baby, if you can see, she has all this gorgeous dark hair on her head. And I was so surprised, and it's so pretty. But anyway, so she's 2 weeks old now and doing good. She's the best sleeper. She eats good. I don't know, the kids all love her. They like to hold her. And so, yeah, that's her. Her dramatic entrance into the world. So that's it. Any questions, guys, leave them below. I think I said everything. I don't know. We were there in the hospital for Wednesday night. We got there Thursday, Friday. We left Saturday morning. Because you had to be there 3 days if you had a C-section, they said. And it was terrible. We wanted to go home. We were stuck in our little room. Couldn't really go anywhere because of COVID. They still don't let you, like, really leave the room or have visitors or whatever. So it was really boring. We really wanted to leave. So eventually we got to. So that was good. I feel like I'm leaving stuff out. The other thing I was saying that was funny was when we got to the hospital, when we were walking in with my big belly and the car seat and all our bags. It's funny because everyone that saw us was telling us where to go in the hospital. Like, they saw us and they were like, oh, labor and delivery, you know, make a left here, right here, take the elevator. We didn't even have to ask anyone. It was funny. So, anywho, I think that's everything. Did I leave anything out? No? Alright, guys, so thank you for watching. And thanks for all the messages. I got a lot of, congratulations and all that on Instagram, on her photos. And, yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video then. And, postpartum-wise, I'll say this, like, I had the C-section, but I'm feeling great now. She's doing great. Everything's good. So, alright, guys. Bye.